Welcome back to Comics, the podcast where me and my mom look at two comics from our collection. DC starts us off today with Green Lantern 158. More outer space action with the Green Lantern Corps. And Trapped is the cover name. He's trapped. There's a big yellow space dragon that's going to eat him while he is in this sort of force field.
I like the idea of Green Lantern Corps because they went out in space and
I like cops.
It was interesting.
Space cops.
Yeah.
I like the pink against his green. That's a nice contrast. The pink
And
force
it's green.
field.
You don't see green very often.
Especially not in Green Lantern or Green Arrow.
Well, but you know what
Green
I mean.
Goblin.
That's true.
Setting all those aside. A Loop in Time. So this is written by Mike Barr. Layout artist is Keith Pollard. For all those layout artist fanatics out there. Adam Kubert did the letters. Mike DiCarlo finished the inking. Tolan was the colorist. Ernie Colon, editor. Cologne, with the little inflection mark there, maybe. Anyway, this is a really cool opening page. Not really descriptive of the story until after you've finished it. You don't really know the context of these characters, but it's got a cool geometric kind of pattern to it. So we start off at the end of our previous adventure. Hal is thinking about putting away Hector Hammond, I guess the villain from the previous story, and getting some rest. And he says, maybe I shouldn't put my bungalow on an asteroid. He had like a little hut on an asteroid. It makes me too vulnerable. He needs something with like a life support system in case he's deprived of his ring.
Right, exactly.
So he's like, I think I'm going to maybe get a spaceship. And so before he does that, though, he's like, you know what? I need to charge up my ring. So he had made his charging lantern invisible. I guess he's able to do that. I didn't remember that until I read this comic. But he finds it in the wreckage of whatever asteroid he had his bungalow on. And, he recites his oath here. It's kind of annoying. You got to say that every time.
Brightest day and blackest night. No evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power. Green Lantern's light.
He seemed a little weird at the end there. He's like he lost faith in it. He's like getting impatient. So the battery's charging him up. I think every 20, it's been almost 24 hours since I last charged the ring, so maybe it only lasts a day. So then he's like, I'm going to get a ship. And he uses some kind of wormhole. At his command, the ring severs the fabric of time and space, creating a portal before him. A portal to a world where distance is not as we know it, where natural laws are strangely amended, where an inch may stretch the length of a parsec, where light years may be traveled in 7 seconds. Not bad.
That is super cool.
And if my sense of direction is as good as it used to be, yep, that's got to be the planet Talcor, home of the finest shipwrecks in the galaxy. I ought to be able to find a suitable ship there. Maybe something only driven on Sundays by a little old lady from, some sort of subspace emergency call. So before he can go scout out some ships to buy, we get the cover monster, which is like some giant space eel dragon sort of thing. It's like a dragon, but it doesn't seem to have wings, doesn't have appendages. It's just like a snake. It's like a serpent, I guess is what you'd call it. I think he calls it a dragon. It's yellow, of course. So, First things first, though, to distract old Puff by peppering him with rays. They won't hurt much, but they'll make him good and mad. Now, for my world-famous Jonah imitation. So the serpent snatches him up.
Well, his guts are red.
You knew it. Did you see him, crewman? A Green Lantern. I've never seen one before. You will never see one again. He has sacrificed himself. But the serpent seems to be having some indigestion as the green smoke pours from its nostrils and the cracks of its mouths. Great, I figured he wasn't yellow on the inside, so the ring gave him a tongue hotter than Green Arrow's chili. he'll leave him alone now. So
That's
in their gratitude, the crew of the ship invite Green Lantern to accompany them on the rest of their mission. They're delivering scientific materials to their third moon, to a Dr. Tagura. And so they're landing and introductions are made. And Dr. Tagura here says, was my entire requisition list filled, Captain? Yes, Doctor. My technicians even now assemble the neurogenerator. Excellent. I feel nearer than ever to unlocking the secret of chronokinesis. Chronokinesis? You mean time travel? Exactly, Lantern. We have mastered all forms of space travel. Now we seek mastery over the fourth dimension as well.
You think the Green Lanterns could?
Time travel?
Yeah.
Why? Just because they're green?
No, just because they can go so fast and...
Yeah, I mean, he tore through the fabric of space to go through some kind of wormhole. What is the limit of that?
Yeah.
That room over there, it can't be part of the laboratory. It's almost like a museum. And that woman, it looks like... Eh? Would you look closer at my treasures, Lantern? I'm sorry, Doctor, I didn't mean to pry. So he had noticed this darkened room
Yeah,
that they
she's a
didn't
little
go.
creepy. She's got a head on the wall.
Yeah, some kind. Well, that's like a portrait, and it seems to be a statue of some people and a bust and.
Okay,
another
I saw that
statue.
other. It's like a wild animal head, but it was human or alien. Oh, it's a bust.
Yeah, this race of aliens has some kind of weird like skull-like face
Yeah.
over their skin, like a bony carapace or something. For all who enter this room, carry with them a portion of the love my Samdar and I shared. Thus is his memory kept alive. You obviously loved him very much. He was my universe, and I his. It has been a full 30 years since his passing, but the memory of our 6 months together is forever young. 6 months? That's all the time you had? Doctor, I am sorry. Thank you. He doesn't mean it sarcastically.
I know, but...
Thank you. Be not sorrowful. Yeah, that is a little weird. And we have a flashback of her relationship with this dead guy. Rather be joyous, for we loved as no couple has ever loved before, or ever will again. We were the perfect mates. Our souls complemented each other ideally. For hours we would sit discussing scientific theories and concepts, and for hours at a time, neither of us would speak a word. I loved Samdar more on the day of his passing than ever before, and I love him now even more. We are parted now, yes, but soon we shall be reunited forever. Many of my people also hope to meet their loved ones in the next world, Dr. Tagura, and I'm sure they and you will. I beg indulgence for my intrusion, but we must depart now, Green Lantern. Will you accompany us? Please. Stay for refreshment. I have so little company. I think I will, Doctor. Thank you. See you later, Captain. I trust so, Green Lantern. Farewell. And so he's going to hang out with this lonely scientist lady. Don't know what I'd do if I ever lost Carol, he thinks to himself. Dr. Tagura, is that you? And coming up from behind, something stuns him into submission. Yes, Lantern, it is. For a time, Green Lantern's world goes away. When he comes to, he is in the force field that we saw on the cover. Doctor, if I ask you what's going on, will you tell me? Certainly, Lantern. I regret to say that you were my prisoner. So it turns out that she's been experimenting with this time travel in small ways. For instance, already have I seen a plant bud, wither, and die, not once but 200 times. So she can make like these time cycle loops.
Okay.
Where she can capture maybe the 6 months that she'd spent with Samdar and like live in a little world of time manipulation. The method for creating this warp has been known to me for some time, Lantern, but it takes enormous power, and I was unable to find a source to maintain it until you arrived. You and your power ring. She's going to use the ring to power this gizmo? Then I'm home free. You smile, Lantern, for you think I know not of your 24-hour limit. Rather, you do not know the efficaciousness of my stasis field. In it, time will not pass. You will not age, nor will your ring lose its charge. Again, I truly regret my involving you in this, for your eternity will be a lonely one. But no lonelier than these past 3 decades have been for me, and the presence of your reduced will is necessary to the functioning of the ring. Thank you, Lantern, for you are by the means by which Somnar and I shall be reunited forever. And there's not a blasted thing I can do, he thinks to himself.
Oh, man.
Yeah, what a torture.
Wow.
So we see this sort of fantasy time warp world being coming to reality here as he watches seamed skin become soft and pliant, grows young. Time peels away like an onion skin, and the air is sweet with the sense of summer. Yes, he should be along any... Oh, I'm sorry, miss, I didn't see you there, though I'm certainly glad I did see you now. That's quite all right. Nonsense, I must make it up to you. Are you free for dinner tonight? So this is like their meet cute or whatever that she's reenacting. And meanwhile, he's like, oh, God, I hate romantic comedies. Now I'm stuck in this force field to watch one over and over again. We get a little montage of things happening, like she's in her little dream world.
But it's going to loop, right?
It's going to loop, and it's also taking such tremendous energy that it's causing this imbalance. Starships sway and groan, caught in a disturbance they cannot long withstand, and the buildings start to sway and collapse.
She's killing
the very
people.
planet, Talcor, shakes like a bubble in a hurricane. I know, so selfish. But she'll get her comeuppance, as they always do, I guess. With, I like how they bring back the minor adventure from earlier on. Like, why did he have to dispatch of that dragon so easily? For it to come back. So he managed to make like he emits subspace waves with his ring that summon the dragon who wants revenge on him.
Good thinking.
Which disrupts his little force field. And though the dragon is yellow, he's like, I can't just fly into its mouth again. It's probably not going to fall for that this time. So he warps the steel floor of this installation, and then it cools around the dragon, encasing him, probably scarring and burning him, you would think,
true.
if it was molten metal. But, he was just a means to an end, I guess. And so...
as was Green Lantern.
Yep, everybody's got some scheme going here. And, I think the dragon ends up with the shortest
stick.
Yeah, he ends up screwed the most. I like this panel.
Oh, yeah.
So he's going to drag her out of this time warp here. No, Doc, this warp you created may take on its own reality and last forever, or it may pop like a bubble in 60 seconds. If you don't get out now, you'll be trapped there and face the consequences. I'll take that chance, Lantern. It's worth it to be with the only man I've ever loved. Please? So he decides to let her take her chances and maybe be extinguished or live forever in that little fantasy. And so as a reward for going through the trouble of being kidnapped and helping them against that serpent creature, the other people, it's not Talcor, is it? It's the other planet they went to that distracted him from his mission. They reward him with his own customized ship. It's got the little Green Lantern emblem. And if he's part of a corps, is he allowed to accept stuff like that? That would be like a community being like, we made you your own cop car.
Right.
Isn't it cool? He's like, well, we kind of have like a standard issue. No, drive ours. It'll hurt our feelings if you don't use it.
Exactly.
It's just like a piece of crap. That'd be fun. It's got like a dragon.
A muffler
painted
dragon.
On, it's got a muffler dragon and a dragon painted on the side of it. We have a B story with a different Green Lantern to close out this great comic. Tales of the Green Lantern Corps, as promised on the cover. And so most of this is happening internally in this guy's mind. This is a Paul Kupperberg written and Irv Novick penciled mini adventure, One Among the Stars, Part 2.
Charlie Vicker
of Earth, member of the Green Lantern Corps. Uh-oh, folks. Not me. I guess that follows this bubble. Kind of bizarre, huh? Most of GL's patrol sectors containing their homeworlds and get to live there. So he's saying like he would be in our solar system with his home being on Earth, but uh-oh, folks, not me. The Guardians stick me a good 1,200 light years away from Earth in the middle of a sector that's home to more freaks than all the circuses you've ever seen rolled into one.
Nice.
My job's to protect these bozos. Only problem is, it's gotten to the point where I couldn't care less. Don't get me wrong, it's not like I wasn't going to do my damnedest to save the people of Fiddle 11, Fiddle 11 and their planet from going bluey. It's just that considering what they look like, they look like kind of insectoid creatures.
Yeah.
It's hard to think of them as people, like they were a colony of ants scurrying around a burning anthill, you know? Sure, you might try to put out the fire, but you'd never think those that didn't make it felt anything as they were burning up.
Jeez.
You think I'm just an insensitive clod. Well, you try spending a couple of years with nothing for companionship but walking nightmares like these and tell me how you feel. Tell me you could still work up emotions for bug-eyed, six-armed, purple-hairy beasties. Tell me you could relate to weird alien customs and rituals a human couldn't even begin to understand, much less follow. Tell me you could give a damn about their problems. God help me, I can't.
Yikes.
I know, he's so xenophobic. But, it brings up a good point that, everybody wants to be tolerant, but when you're actually put to the test with, their biology is so foreign to you, and the way their society works is probably contrary to everything you've ever believed. It's easier said than done. You're not trying to be a bigot, but it's hard to feel invested in such an alien surroundings.
Right, when you don't have...
They might not even have judgeable facial expressions or anything, where even
Right.
And you have no other humans to hang out with. It's gotta feel weird. But that's what's so cool about this story is he, of course, learns to empathize with them, which makes it kind of a cool little mini story. And it's kind of what I like about both of these stories is even though they're space-faring sort of cop adventures, is they're both about the characters. There's a psychological element to the lady who wanted to be stuck in her memories.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. So anyway, he says, all right, so I hate my work, but someone's got to do it. Indulging myself in some heavy self-pity wasn't about to get it done, so I do what I always do, switch off the feelings and look at the situation like it was just another problem that needs to be solved. Problem? I got me a planet just itching to blow itself to smithereens, taking a couple of billion creature feature rejects with it. And I've got to stop this from happening while I keep the inhabitants from being made into vulture bait. I was beginning to get pretty steamed at the Guardians for handing me this mess. I'm no Superman, Even with a power ring, there's only so much this Green Lantern can do at one time. And if I blow it, they'd call me on the carpet so fast I wouldn't know what hit me. Green Lanterns aren't supposed to make mistakes. We're not allowed to be human. Well, folks, I hate to disappoint you, but I am. Got some kind of fan to blow the wave down or something, or to capture
Interesting things that he makes.
And these aliens don't make it any picnic either. You'd think they'd have the sense to stay out of the rain. But why should they bother? They've always got me to provide them with an umbrella, right? And after I do, they can always get their jollies by kicking me in the pants as their way of saying thanks. What I tell you, it sure was beginning to get to me. I didn't know where to turn next, because every which way I looked, there was another emergency that couldn't wait. Yet there are billions of them and only one of me. I couldn't be everywhere and do everything. More of them about to buy the farm unless I do something quick as the ground cracks apart. He has nothing but contempt for these poor creatures.
Wow.
So his solution is, what if I make a giant corkscrew or a drill bit and it serves as an escape valve? He says, the escape valve I drilled into the planet's core. Pure poetry, man. So there's all this gunk that shoots out like a volcano. He calls it gunk. Then I headed back downstairs where I wasn't expecting much in the way of thanks. After you've been hit in the head enough times, you almost get used to it. He channels all his... Because their power relies on their willpower, so I guess I skipped over this, but he's kind of channeling all of his negative feelings into making this superpower drill, something he wasn't, I guess, able to do before, he hadn't thought of doing. But here's the twist ending. These buggers had to go and surprise me. For the first time, I felt like a hero. If they had any streets left, I swear, I would have gotten a parade. However, I got more than I'd bargained for. It was like getting a bear hug from a centipede. Kind of cold and slimy. I shuddered as I started to pull away. And then I stopped myself. I didn't have to understand their lingo to know what she was telling me. I had saved her and her baby, and she was grateful. She loved her kid just like my mom loved me. Talk about your grade A jerks. How'd I manage to be out here so long and still miss something so blasted obvious? I'm no genius, but I'm no idiot either. So what if they are strange-looking characters? That doesn't make them so very different from me and you. Not as long as we're all able to share a bit of ourselves through the simplest, most common of bonds, love. Okay, call me corny if you want to. Corn or not, it did the trick for me. Right then and there, I decided that maybe Fiddle-Yule wouldn't be such a bad place to relocate for a while. I mean, he was a kind of cute little feller, you know?
Okay,
Maybe he'll adopt this ant.
what gave him the idea to
To make the drill bit?
Yeah.
His anger, his bigotry. No. So I decided I had to pick one place and one course of action, and it wasn't on Fiddle-Yule's surface. If I was wrong, I'd kick myself later. I'm an ambitious sort of guy. I hate failure. I kept believing I was knocking my brains out to save this mud ball from the Big Bang, but maybe I had another motive. If so, I wasn't letting myself in on it. I didn't need scientific instruments to tell me Fiddle-Yule was going to go any second if the internal pressure wasn't relieved and fast.
Okay.
Like the Power Ring instruction book says, where there's a will, there's a way. I never saw a sight as pretty as all that gunk blowing straight out into space from the escape valve I drilled into the planet's core.
Well, what about any other planet that...
Yeah, what if that was on somebody's house?
Yeah, or
Well-
if it's just gonna shoot out and...
Onto another planet?
Yeah.
Well, that's not his jurisdiction. He's not worried about it.
Jeez.
Let the other Green Lanterns worry about that. So this will be a unique issue because this is the only Deadpool comic we own. We actually got it last weekend from the comic shop, so we could have a Deadpool comic to go over.
Yeah.
And another thing with the Deadpool 3 movie coming out, we have two characters portrayed by the actor that plays Deadpool.
Yes, we do.
So yeah, tell me about Deadpool
59.
and this is from, what, 2012, I think
2012. It's only 12 years old, so probably one of
Probably
our newer...
the newest comic we've done.
Yeah, yeah. So we open up, and we've got some jobs are just too tough for your average fast-talking, high-tech gun for hire. Sometimes, to get the job done right, you need someone crazier than a sack of ferrets. You need Wade Wilson, the Crimson Comedian, the formerly regenerating degenerate, the merc with the mouth,
Regenerating degenerate, I like that.
Deadpool. So here's the deal. Deadpool lost the healing factor that made him the most unkillable loudmouth this side of celebrity name retracted. But he doesn't mind. He sort of did it on purpose. He feels more alive than he's felt in ages. Problem is, he's easier to bump off than he's been in ages, too. And he's made a lot of people want to off him. Take, for example, Black Box, a technopathic computer man, or Black Swan, this dude who can give people mental suggestions. And now, Black Tom Cassidy, who shoots energy blasts out of a wooden stick. No, really.
Black Box, Black Swan, and Black Tom Cassidy. They really know their demographic of like late teens, early 20s men who are up late
Eating
hitting
a
a
whole
bong
pizza.
and eating a whole pizza without cutting it or even sandwiching it. Burning their mouths on the lava hot sauce.
But yep. So we open up somewhere near Amarillo, Texas. As much as it sucks that I didn't get to see the world's largest ball of aluminum foil on this trip or the world's biggest cowboy hat, it sucks even more that I did find the world's suckiest cup of coffee. Sucky and cold. Let's get some more at the truck stop up ahead. We're going to have to sleep soon. Our body has to do that now pretty regularly. What happens if I don't? Dementia, hallucinations. Pfft, like that's ever slowed me down. He takes off, and then here's the whoop woo. So, yeah, see, I don't have a driver's license. Appreciate your honesty, partner, but the great state of Texas requires you have one to operate a motor vehicle. Does that apply to everyone? What if I'm not from Texas? Because I'm not. just passing through, you know? I know you're passing through at a little more than 90 miles an hour. Well, how about I just keep passing through at the speed I'm going? I'll be out of here in no time with no hassles and nobody getting hurt. Sounds good, huh? All right? I reckon on seeing as you're unlicensed, you're also uninsured. Insured? Me? Yeah, right. I'm not the insurable type. Yeah, I reckon you strikes me more of the arrestable type. Go on and get out of the car, sir. Real slow. So he goes right for the gun. Aren't you going to ask if I have any weapons on me? Guns, knives, explosives? You got any of that? I got all of that. And then we've got Blacklisted Part 2. You can't miss him. Amarillo. So these guys
this
are
must be Blacklisted. That must be the theme. That
Yep.
we have villains with black in their name.
He goes, why does this keep happening to us?
That's
Here's
a cool
his
splash
little
page.
car.
Very
Yeah.
cinematic.
Yeah, it's nice. He's got helicopters coming in, air support, all these cop
Almost
cars.
looks like Tony Stark.
It does. It does. And it almost, I can't remember who else it looks like. But yeah. So 2 days earlier, looking back, you see it looks like a laundromat and a, nah, bullocks. I like his stick. And then this ad for Grimm. That was a great show.
I didn't watch that one, I don't think.
Oh, it's really good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you guys would like it.
I'll have to check it out.
Remind me, did I steal your Lucky Charms or something? Or is it just that everybody with the word black in their name is out to get me now? He comes out blasting. Black box, black swan, black eye. Can't say I didn't warn you. Who's next? Black axe? Tell you what, next lad. Ooh, tell me. No, wait, make it a surprise. What? Where'd my... This is an interesting look.
He's wide.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's all chest and neck. He's
Yeah.
got a thick neck.
And that belt on his...
Yeah, that's a weird choice.
Yeah. And yeah, his guns disappear. He gets pulled out and surprise.
Is it just me, or it seems like some of these newer comics too are a lot less dependent on the exposition boxes and words, like they go by fast.
Absolutely.
It's mostly the art.
Absolutely. You
Blackgarden,
we get. He can still do that plant control thing. Thought that got retconned. That's really odd.
The color, I think that's like the breaking the fourth wall thing. Because he's saying retcon, like, you know what I mean? Maybe there was something with this character that they know they're contradicting.
Yup. Last words, boyo. Aye, bang on, laddie. He swears. Unburden you troubled soul. In this, the hour of your death. Why are the streetlights blinking all of a sudden? Dunno, maybe he has light control powers too, or maybe, Dazzler after us. Or is Dazzler after us? Because that'd be kind of hot. You are only to incapacitate Deadpool. You can torture him, but you will leave him alive. I will be the one to kill Deadpool.
He's the technopath, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. And, when they break it up to where one's got one working for him, it just always breaks down. Communication breaks down. One gets hot-headed, and it allows our hero to escape. It always,
They've been doing that kind of thing since the Frightful Four first appeared in Fantastic Four, where the villains argue
Yes.
amongst each other, and that's their downfall.
Yep. He goes, we had an agreement. Took it as more of a suggestion, really. Here's a suggestion for you. Don't bring a tree to a gunfight. But if you're in a tree fight, bring a knife and a gun. So,
Ooh, he hits him
yeah,
bad.
he hits him a little bit. He makes some contact. I like the artwork in here, though. It's really nice in directing the flow of the story. But now, probably shouldn't have mentioned the guns. To the cop, he would have found him anyway. Wind's dying down. They're gonna hit us with the CS gas, OS
I think it's a C. CS.
CS gas soon, right before they swarm us. What are the chances we can get out of here without killing anybody and without getting ourselves killed? What are the chances I can sneak in there and get one of those huge microwave burritos? What are the chances Black Tom Cassidy shows up here at this truck stop in the middle of nowhere looking for payback? No way. Holy crap, I think this means I might actually get that burrito.
He's got anime eyes.
Yes. I'll be taking it from here, boys. Bubble on now. And these two cops. Freeze! It's to be a showdown, is it? Right then. Draw. Bang. And all this power emanates out of this wood and just shoves cars, people. That's a really nice.
That's a
really
cool power.
nice. Yeah, I like the overlap here. It really gives it a lot of good movement. This car comes crashing down. Fall back. If that English fella wants to deal with this, I say we let him. Conscious, you bastard. Hope so. Conscious, you bastard. Hope so. Troy, yeah. I think we need to get the hell out of here. Listen up, everybody. Y'all need to follow us, okay? We're headed out the back. Can we wait like 40 seconds? And am I gonna have to pay for this, Boo! All these people take off. Deadpool! Gibber and Egypt in red and black mask. Where is he? Is he talking about us? He doesn't know we're us. He doesn't know that he's talking to us about us. He doesn't know what we look like. So we have the element of surprise on our side. Cool. Let's not blow it. I'm not the patient type, boyo. So finish soiling your striders and give me a bloody answer. On second thought, he's got his guns ready. Like he's hiding all this stuff underneath his little jacket.
Yeah, his face isn't mutilated either. It must be the price he had to pay to lose his healing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah? He pulls his guns and just starts blasting. Gotta get back to the car, grab some real firepower. Yeah, these pistols are super sweet, but they're not gonna cut it against this freaking lunatic. What's the quickest way out of... Boom! His gun goes flying. Well, we asked. This looks cool.
Yeah, I haven't read Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four, but I've heard good things about it.
Bad father. Worst son.
The Wizard.
That looks interesting. Yeah. Well, go. Can't. Think I broke my butt. This little skull. Deadpool is down. Black Tom is moving in quickly to finish him. I want to be there when it happens, Swan. Do you think you can persuade me, Mr. Cassidy, to wait until I arrive? I'm rather certain of it. And the showdown begins. Not too easy, and much too quick. He kicks him. What'd you say to me last time? Don't bring a tree to a gunfight, was it? But I did, Miss Son. And what you brought?
Kind of hard to read his dialogue, huh?
I know it. Flamethrower. How you like me now, Lorax?
To be continued.
To be continued.
And we got an ad for the Punisher.
But you know what? He didn't have money for a burrito, so how did he prepay that pump to be able to pump out the gas?
Yeah.
I mean, that was only 12 years ago. It's probably not running free, you know?
True.
But who's going to
Punisher's
think
looking
about
like
that?
Metal Gear Solid or something.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty quick story, but full of action.
This is a Harley Davidson ad in a comic book. I wouldn't expect that. Yeah, that was cool. It went by so quickly, though.
It did.
I feel like the older comics are much more reliant on the text than the images, but almost ended too soon, it felt like.
Yeah, it was really quick. I mean, I don't know how
That's
long
how they
the
get you
story
hooked.
arc, how many books it entails, but
Right. Well, I think it's just a matter of the style and the eras where, like, I guess these were self-contained adventures, really. Even though the second one, the shorter one, said part two, so maybe they had featured that character before. It seemed pretty self-contained.
Right.
They introduced the premise and then they
had a nice conclusion.
change, yeah. But I might have to check out the trade that this is from to get the full story, because I like the idea of the black themed villains
Yeah,
all teaming
that's-
up. That's kind of fun. So, and that was I think that was my first Deadpool comic. He's been around since I think the late '80s, early '90s, but I never got into him too much.
No.
When I was a kid, so that was fun to see. That's one of the rare comics where I've seen more of them in other media than in the actual comics they came from.
Yes.
So, it is pretty similar to what I would expect from the movie. Maybe a little less, maybe a little toned down in the quippiness and stuff. But
Right.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that movie. So it was fun to look at the comic.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll make a good Green Lantern movie someday. The one they have was all right. It
was
just
all
wasn't
right.
wasn't like super memorable, but
Right.
they did a decent job. It doesn't deserve the hate that it gets.
No, I don't think so either. It was a nice first attempt. I think they could do more, because the thing I like about the Green Lantern Corps is that they go everywhere, and it's so heavily science. There's a lot of heavy thought in there. How they break the what did he do to go through a dimensional
Yeah, I don't remember him doing
wormholes,
that in the
and
movie.
it brings up a lot of things that would be interesting to see. The only other thing that deals with wormholes are like Deep Space Nine.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they could really flesh out how it's a series of
Yeah.
planets that have all these different members. They
It would
touch
be
on that in the
interesting.
movie, but if they focused on it and got away from Earth, that would be cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, if you watched this far, give us a like, a comment, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.